Hello, my name is Frances Fox. I'm very tired. I am in the middle of a huge, I'm going to call it an adventure because other than that, I don't know. Anyway, I found something today in what you would consider a non reliable source. But if you look at CNN and ABC and CBS, then I would have to say that you really have no right to question my sources. Anyway, it appears that there are detectives that work on court cases that specialize in the supernatural. So that was brought up in one of those tarot readings that was not for me. It was generic for my sign. It's a black tarot card reader. And she was mentioning it with about 1,000 other things that appeared to be applicable with what's going on behind the scenes. Anyway, gossip update on my mail. I got my first pieces of mail having to do with forwarding from where I used to live, where we have put in 3 address changes. Of course, nobody believes that, but that's okay. We did. And one was put in by the head of the Coral Gables post office. And the third one was put in by the local mail lady. It was very sweet of her. So the only piece of mail I got was inside of an envelope that appears to be from the post office. And it's 2 pieces of mail outside of their envelopes. And one of them is from Merrill Lynch that I had a problem with the other day with my account. They said we don't understand what happened. And they started to scramble. And my stockbroker, Merrill Lynch, we had requested a pretty large sum of money. And after 7 or 8 days, 10 days, I don't know. I'm not good with numbers. So never quote me on numbers. And I get an email. This was supposed to be a wire transfer, which is within 24 hours. And they send me 7, 10 days later, something that says, we got your request. And if we need something further, we'll let you know. Meanwhile, my money is sitting there in the bank. So I finally am able to get them on the phone. But between then and when I got them on the phone, they sent a check for $600 to the stockbroker because the transfer was to buy stock, to buy Tesla. And they sent him $600. And I said, what is this $600 for? I was questioning my stockbroker. He said, I have no idea why they sent that check. And I had him send me a copy of what he did send them. And there's nothing in there for $600. It was many times more than that. And they themselves at Merrill Lynch didn't know what it was about. So the only 2 pieces of mail I've gotten since stuff is being forwarded, which is today would be the first day, was from Merrill Lynch and from the stockbroker. Merrill Lynch is where we don't know what happened. And the stockbrokers, and one is, why did they send this? Very interesting. Yes, they're supposed to take pictures of my mail, but you're assuming that we slipped between the cracks, and this is 3 times. The mail is no place. No place. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with that. That's already 3 minutes on this. So I need to go back to what we were talking about yesterday, which is the weaponization of food. We're going back to the black magic, where that shaman friend of mine wouldn't eat any food the first time he visited me for a week. I spent every day with him. And I noticed he wasn't eating any food. I said, he'd take a can of soda. And I said, what's going on with the food? He said, well, in Mexico, we know that the easiest way to kill your enemy is to put magic in their food. And I went, great. So you think I might put magic in your food? And he kind of looked at me like that and he went, okay, let me have a plate of food. He was hungry. So I said that I seem to remember that the people that started the cereals that now have all those additives and all those sugars and started off our children and us, I guess, because it was decades ago, on a path of destruction having to do with spirits because excess sugar, spirits like alcohol, drugs, and sugar. Most people don't know about the sugar, but that, as I said, when you go to a Thai place and they have the candies up front and all the rest of the little altar, that is for the spirits. And in Mexico, where they know a lot about spirits, they make these big, on the All Saints Day, They make these big spreads, table full of food, and most of it is like made out of sugar, and it is for the spirits. So then we get the person who starts the whole cereal movement, and it's here, I'll put it up on. He was a physician. He was the director of the Battle Creek Sanatorium in Battle Creek, Michigan. That and many other things that indicate that he was, and I can't put the whole thing in, this is from Wikipedia, I didn't have to look very far. And he had very strict views of the human mind and what people should do. So he opened a sanatorium, and then he gave us the tradition of the American cereal for breakfast, which was very specifically very inviting to spirits. And again, throughout human history, if you have a mental illness, it's because you don't have the spirits in your life under your control. It's always spirit invasion and spirit influence, including schizophrenia, where the schizophrenic says spirits are talking to him, and we go, no, they're not, because we're not allowed to believe in spirits, therefore you're crazy. So just scratch a little bit with a little bit of knowledge, which is why I do these podcasts. Today, I really didn't want to be here with you, because today has been a pretty amazing day, but very stressful, because I'm doing all of this by myself. I can't have my family near me. Not sure that they want to be near me. It's so easy to say that people that are dealing with other dimensions are crazy, unless you're a physicist. Then you can talk about God and dark matter, but you got to put a name on it like that. You can't say the astral dimensions, because then all of a sudden you're already a flake. Meanwhile, every major ruler on the planet since the beginning of time, maybe it's some of the modern ones that are kind of boring, not, they've all used astrology. Anyway, whatever. So magic in the courts. So anyway, I'm on this morning. As I told you, I can't go out. So I'm here and I entertain myself with on the computer, not the computer, on the big screen TV downstairs. And all of a sudden I see something. I got so happy, which is where she's talking about the court system and investigators for supernatural. Let me just flash it for you. I was like, whoa. This is the second one. Is this the second one? No. This detective specializing in solving supernatural cases. So this person who's going to be taken to court is saying she's crazy. Anyway, I was so happy with that. And then I remembered, and I'm sharing here, that we're going to have a lot of people going back to court cases, like men, where women use black magic to trap them and getting to marry them. And then eventually the marriage ends, because after all, it was not very strong footing. And then we start having stuff like this in the court system, and you have the man going back and saying, you know what? You did something that is not correct and not legal. It's the reason I got trapped with you. And now, you know what? The alimony payments, I'm not paying them anymore. I am not on television in Spanish every other day because of people blocking me with black magic, because they know that I can tell that they're doing black magic. They're holding down their jobs with black magic. Therefore, I cannot be there. I have 2 TV stations where I cannot even go on the property, because it's supposed to be like a burial ground where they have all this black magic buried in the ground, not just against me. It's also against other people because they hate them or whatever. In my particular case, it's because I'm a remote viewer. So it's going to enter the court systems. And I did not have the time to look up the case that was won in France with an athlete that apparently was very well known. And he was accusing another athlete of using black magic in the court system in France, and he won. I have to look it up. I'm sure there's more of that, and we're going to see more of that. And I hope people are very embarrassed, because it has been very exhausting to watch what happens to people that I love, and some of my clients that I don't love, but I have a commitment to them, when there is no control over somebody who has enough money to pay for black magic. By the way, the person that I'm accusing of doing all this black magic, somebody called him on it, hey, what? And he said, "Oh, Francis, she's just in love with me." Oh, okay. Okay. What other explanation is he going to get? I said his name for 4 years, and now is when they're worrying about how they're going to get me to shut up. No, they've been doing stuff the whole time. Anyway, you need to learn about magic. And I did a video about 4 years ago having to do with my personal history, in which I felt I might need to defend myself a little bit. And I think I'm going to put it up tomorrow, the next day. It's interesting. And I was not aware then when I did it, because I kept saying in the video, I did this because I'm here to teach you about magic. And I hadn't ever really verbalized that so clearly. But I am here to teach you about black magic. Magic. It doesn't have to be black magic, because you see, magic works. So you have a choice. You have a choice. And especially now that it's going to get revealed, if all my crap gets revealed, which is humiliating and embarrassing and not my choice, why shouldn't everybody else's? It should be all an even playing field, and it will be. So I'm not really up to doing very much else. Let me see if somebody had any interesting comments. And I think that let me just read you a couple more things. Let's see about Kellogg. We're talking, 100 years ago. The sanatorium approached treatment in a holistic manner: vegetarianism, nutrition, the use of yogurt, enemas, hydrotherapy, abstention from smoking, tobacco, alcohol, and sexual activity. He spent the last 30 years of his life promoting eugenics, which I don't remember what that is, and segregation. He was an Adventist. He was an Adventist and vegetarian, and then he puts all the sugar in there. Okay. Okay. What can I tell you? So this is the guy that introduced us to, because I think it was with the cereals that started this whole sugar addiction in this country. And then we know from macrobiotics that if you have balanced pH in your body, you can't get sick. And if you have an area of your body that's sick, like a tumor, and you can balance the pH in that area, that illness can't stay. So why am I talking about this now? Because the minute you add sugar, you no longer have balanced pH. So sugar is a guarantee that people are going to be sick, and we already see what it does to our kids. So here we go. Some guy that had heavy duty thoughts about health, and he introduces, there's if we get into conspiracy, we're going to find some more interesting things, but I have too many other things to look up. So we are going to go ahead and do a mantra, and then we're going to let it go until Friday. And maybe we'll have some new gossip for you. Oh dear. Somebody trying to plead insanity. Okay, so we're going to do, which one did we do yesterday? I think we're all exhausted, at least I am. Let's do the whole third eye mastery. Okay? The Om one. The even though I'm afraid to be a master. This man, Rene de Villegas, if they go down that path of him saying that the trick is that I'm in love with him, he's going to have a big problem, because his wife has been calling him on, how come you're not letting this woman go with all the black magic that he does and all the stalking? Maylene de Villegas, the wife. Okay, here's the mantra. You repeat it in silence, and we're going to put the Om music. And you can go ahead and do Om. By the way, we are getting galactically cut apart. And it's not horizontal, it's vertical, and it's coming in like a huge cut in our energy system, obviously. And it's a little bit frightening because we're supposed to be, for the ascension process, we're supposed to be coming together, light and dark, male and female, left and right. And we're getting cut, totally the opposite of what needs to happen now. But I think that if you do the Om all day long, just I think you might be able to protect yourself from that. And I'll say it again. Some of you might have heard this several times. I was on a weekend with a radio station, and everybody who stood in front of me in my booth, I would sketch them. And I did 90 some people in 2 days. I had Margot, send me an email. I was working on the back of your neck. I think you're a little bit tired. You're right. That's exactly what I got. But send me an email. Anyway, so I had this man and his 2 children, which I didn't realize that they were together. So I sketched the girl and her center axis, which is your Holy Grail, which in the Lord's Prayer, they say that God is above us and he pours a nectar into us. That's the receptacle. It's in the shape of a chalice, Holy Grail, and that nectar comes in. Okay, so I'm sketching her, and her chalice, her Holy Grail, which used to be called, or is still called, the causal body, was really wide. And I went, wow, look, this is great. This is the first time I've seen this, all these people. This is great. Next. So this man was the next one, and I sketched him. And his center axis Holy Grail was super wide. And I went, oh my God, I don't ever sketch this. And you're 2 in a row. And he said, this is my daughter. And I went, okay, but still, he said, we listen to your radio show and we do the Om all day long, she and I. I went, oh my God, I need to start doing the Om all day long. So then the next person, and they kind of move over a teeny bit, and the man says, this is my son. But this is my son. He didn't say anything further. So I sketched him, and he did not have a wide center axis, which is full of light. He didn't. And the father, he said, this is my son, and he doesn't do the Om. So you know what? Let's all do the Om all day long. And because I think we might be able to counteract something that's being done to us. And basically what they're doing is we're not going to be able to have faith, because this is where faith is, which is connection to God. Okay. So let me do the Om, and let's do it for 10 minutes. Okay? Okay. And you feel better? My body's more relaxed. The monks do a type of mantra, Om A Hum. This is Om is the sound of the crown chakra, A is the sound of the throat chakra, and then Hum is the sound of the heart chakra. And if you do the three, Om A Hum, see, I was only doing the Om, but once I did the one with the heart chakra, my body relaxed more. It's very relaxing. But doing all three all day is not easy. But doing just the Om, humming it all day long, can make a huge difference in your mental well being, which is questionable for all of us today. Everything is like, I can't remember. Oh my God, I'm confused. I have tinnitus in my head. Um, so I'm going to suggest it just because of this family where two people did the Om all day long, actually listening to me. Meanwhile, I wasn't doing it. And the son didn't. And the two that did it all day long looked like $1 million energetically. In other words, when Christ was born or came, he was a channel of light. These two people, the daughter and the father, were channels of light. And they attributed to, I didn't know who they were. I was racing through people, and they said it's because we do the Om all day long that you recommended. So I'm going to say a cute story. Somebody took me to an evangelist church, a Christian church. I had invited the person to come to a Buddhist mandala ceremony. They said, no, but you're going with me to my church. And I said, fine. And they did some chanting for like 2 hours. I loved it. I did a mantra for 2 hours. We were in a circle. I loved it. I think my friend thought I was going to be upset or it was going to be too much. And when we finished, the lady across the circle, and I don't really care who I upset when I say this, okay? I don't really care because the truth gets left standing, and the stuff that I'm saying is not accurate, truthful, it'll fall down and I'll fall with it. And I'm okay with that. So we finished the 2 hours of they were doing their thing, and I did my mantra, and I loved it because it's really good for me. And the lady from across the circle came over and said, oh my God, I have to tell you something. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get reamed out here. I'm going to get found out for not being a Christian, but no. So I said, wait, say it in front of my friend. I thought, and she said, you have the largest, you are this incredible channel of light. I've never seen anything like that. I was so happy because I don't do the Om all day long, but darn, I do work on it. So, and my friend was there, my friend was happy for me. Great. And I was happy. And then the lady said, you really need to turn yourself over to Christ. Like, wait a second. You've never seen a channel of light bigger than mine, and then you're going to proceed to tell me what to do with it when you don't have that? And that's the problem. Finger pointing, you should do this. And meanwhile, they're not doing it. Because I can guarantee you that if she lived my life, she would also be a channel of light. Now, I don't know if I was a channel. Maybe I was just that channel of light because of the 2 hours. It doesn't really matter. It was just funny the way it wasn't good enough to be a channel of light. I had to turn myself over to someone. I felt like saying, you mean the marketed version of Jesus Christ? Or the one that he was, which was a shaman? I didn't say anything. I was really happy because I thought I was going to get reamed for doing something that I shouldn't have done. Anyway, we're in Revelations. It's all coming out. So get into the magic because it's really exciting and interesting. Do not get into the black magic, especially now when other people can see, and it could end up, no, it's already in the court systems. So just learn it. It's not too late. Love you. We will see you. I won't be by tomorrow, but yes, on Friday. Bye.